Alright guys, so we're talking about team workout number 2. The way this is going to work is you're going to have 3 people staged. It'll be 2 guys and 1 girl at their assigned pull-up station. As far as the pull-up stations go, the higher ranking teams, according to the open scores, will be closest to our garage door. The lower ranking teams may be as far as our other rig down at the other end of the gym. The other 4th person is over here by the garage door. So your first girl runner will actually be staged at the garage door. And then from here we'll say 3, 2, 1, go. Casey's gonna take off. She'll go left around the block on her 450-meter run. The other 3 are doing pull-ups. And it's 1 person working at a time. They can divide up those reps however they want. Okay. And then, and you guys will have several pull-up stations to choose from. So it's not gonna be just 1 bar. There's gonna be 3 different bars that you'll be able to choose from. 3 different heights that are all close by. So we'll assume now Casey's back in from her 450-meter run. She has to run and tag in girl number 2. Megan's off on her 450 run. And then now you have 3 different people still working on those pull-ups. Okay, let's go ahead and assume that they've completed the pull-ups. Those 3 people are gonna walk now over to the kettlebell snatches. They're gonna complete 200 kettlebell snatches that are 1 arm and must be alternating. And for this team portion, you must finish on an even number. So Brian has to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You cannot do an odd number before switching. We'll assume now that Megan is back from her run. She tags in guy number 1 on his 450 run as they continue to work through their 200 kettlebell snatches. And then we'll go ahead and assume now that they have completed their kettlebell snatches and are moving on to the 200 thrusters. Again, 1 person working at a time, breaking up the reps however they like. Okay. And then let's now assume that Brian is back in from his run. He's gonna tag in Mike. They're still working on their thrusters. Okay. Mike, we'll assume now that Mike is back. And let's assume that he is back before they finish their thrusters, okay? And so let's finish their 200 thrusters now. Okay, and now they're moving on to the double unders. This is gonna be 50 double unders per person. So someone start us off on the double unders. Okay, you can choose whatever order you want. So Casey's gone, now Mike's gonna go. Okay, that's good. Now Brian's gonna jump in here. Again, you can go in any order you want. All right, and say he's done. And now Megan's gonna come in, do her 50 double unders. Okay, and we'll say she's completed that, and that will be the time score for the workout. Now let's give a couple of scenarios here, guys. For this, let's say Brian gets tripped up on his double unders and there's still people after him. He cannot let anybody else take over. Let's say he's at 25 and he just keeps messing up. He's got to keep trying until he gets to that 50. You cannot let somebody else take over and do their 50. He'll just have to keep trying until he gets through those 50. Okay? Let's assume too that your runner maybe hasn't come back yet and it's their turn to jump rope. So all 3 people have jump ropes and your other runner isn't back yet. They're just gonna have to sit around and wait for that person to come in, okay? Now, if your runner, the runner can be out at any time, so it doesn't mean you can't start the jump ropes if you have your 4th runner out. It just means that obviously they're gonna have to get a turn on the jump rope, so they're not gonna be able to do it until they're back in from their run. Thanks, guys. Okay, we're talking about what's acceptable for a standard on a pull-up. You must start free hanging with those arms locked out. Strict is acceptable, chin over the bar, complete lockout at the bottom before moving into that next rep. Regular kipping, again, lockout at the bottom, chin clearly over the bar at the top. And then a butterfly pull-up. Just make sure your chin is over the bar. Moving on to the standard for the one arm kettlebell snatches. They must be alternating and they must be taken from the floor with each rep. Okay, we're going to show you an example of a no rep. So for these, it must flip, so you cannot just punch the bell to the sky. It must flip over your wrist. Okay. Also, we want to make sure that we get full lockout with full hip extension. So there, he didn't quite extend his arms, so those would be no reps. Need to make sure that we have a full lockout at the top with fully hip extended at the top of the kettlebell snatch. Moving on to the thruster, you will have the option to squat clean your first rep from the floor, either from the floor position or the hang position. We just want to make sure that we do reach full depth before pressing into that overhead position. So what we're looking for is your hip crease below your knees, and then full extension of the hips and arms so that the bar is directly over the center of the body. Go ahead and show him a couple no reps. So this one, he's going to show us one where he doesn't reach proper depth, and the next one he's going to show us good depth but not proper lockout. Okay, thanks Mike.